Everyone, welcome to your Wednesday update. I just want to go over the calendar and then I want to talk about a pastoral thing and then like a lot of fun number stuff for me. So here's what's coming up in the church. This weekend on Saturday, we're having an art and jewelry sale in the morning. And then in the evening, so in the morning, like in early afternoon, if you would like to buy art or jewelry, please come out. In the early evening at 5:30, we're having an ice cream social followed by a jazz concert with our own minister emeritus, Steve Crump. That whole event is a celebration of the end of our stewardship drive. It's a celebration of each other. Please, please, please come out. The following Sunday, our own Emily Toth is going to be doing the sermon. She's a member of the Preacher Pack. She is preaching on Samson and Delilah and what does it mean to have hair what does it mean to be a woman in relation to a man whose power comes from his hair. There's a lot to play with and unpack. Emily is a retired professor from LSU. She's a published author. She's done a lot of really interesting stuff. So I'm excited about what that Sunday is going to look like. Then the following weekend, on the 19th, is our Queer Fete. If you have not bought tickets, please buy tickets. We want this to both be a fundraiser and be affordable enough to be accessible to everybody. So we have different ticket ranges. They all offer you the same thing. It's just so that we give people an opportunity to fundraise for the church. We're bringing in guest musicians. We're going to have parts of this church showcase. It's going to be a really exciting event. So that's on October 19th. And then the 20th, we're having a new member Sunday. And in the evening, Leslie Runnels is getting ordained. Now, there's some stuff coming up also in that week. The 22nd, we're having a Unity 2024 event. This is a big Together Baton Rouge event. We would like to get like 50 members of the church to that. So that's a Tuesday night. And then we're having a Halloween party on the following Saturday. So that's what's coming up. I just want to name what is going on in Western North Carolina. When I was in college, I worked in Western North Carolina. I love that region, the cultures there. There's still a lot of people who live there who I would not be who I am were it not for them. And I just want to name that for many of you, this might be bringing up Katrina or Rita or Gustav or the 16 flood or the 21 flood or Ida. Or, there's a whole list of what it could be bringing up. And it's okay to have that be brought up. It's okay to have some empathy and sympathy for other people going through catastrophic weather events that were unexpected. And just know that we've got to be here for, we need you sustainable and we need you doing the things you need to do to take care of yourself. Because we still have more weather stuff we're going to have to go through. So I just want to kind of name that. And if something is being stirred up for you, pay attention to it. Please keep your hearts open to this. So as I said, this Saturday is the end of the stewardship drive. So I'm going to give you a lot of details about stewardship. If you want to do this on like 1.5 speed to speed it up, you're welcome to. But this is the stuff that gets me excited. So this church the budget is between $700,000 and $750,000. Most churches our size, about 30% of that budget comes from outside income. So what is 30%? So like $100,000 to $200,000 comes from outside income. So that's an endowment, that's rentals, that's some business that operates kind of around the church. We're going to get about $5,000 in rentals, and we have a $35,000, $45,000 endowment, but not enough to draw from, which means most of this church's budget is paid for by those of you who pledge. We have gotten as many as 250 pledging units. So if you I'm one pledging unit, despite the fact that 4 people in my family are a part of the church. Some people who are married pledge separately. That would be 2 pledging units. But so we've had as many as 250 pledging units. We could go up to 300, but this past year we're at like 192 pledging units it is not a downward trend. It's like a bouncing trend. We have currently raised $353,000, which is great. And we've done that from 100 families who've pledged. That's great. Absolutely. It's genuinely great. Like, we're in a really good shape for this first part. We still have 100 families who have not pledged who pledged last year. We have another 50 who have pledged within the last 2 years that we think will pledge this year, which means we're ending the stewardship drive, but we still do not have the majority of the pledges in. In our church, the majority of the budget goes to pay for staff and building, about 80%. That's pretty standard. Pretty standard in UU churches. The other 20% goes to outreach or gift to the UUA, goes to programming, things like that. So here's the things I would like for you to know about all of this. Since I've been here, when I got here, we had a huge capital drive. And part of the capital drive was to pay for staffing. And so every year there was a supplement in the budget that came from the capital drive in 2011 that was designed to help supplement having extra staff. And over years, those amounts stair-step down. So I don't know what the exact amount is, but early in, the church had $500,000 in the budget. Is that right? Like $150,000 in the budget. That's right. $150,000 in the budget to help supplement staffing. And the next year it went to $120,000, and the next year it went to $100,000, and it stair-stepped down. And the idea is that the membership would grow up as the stair steps were going down. And we were doing that until both our senior minister retired and we went through the shutdowns of COVID. Both of those are not times of growth, and we did not experience growth in that time. That's okay. That's natural. But we stair-stepped out. And so and then during COVID, 20 and 21, and even a little in 22, we had PPP loans that helped to balance out the loss of that income and the loss of pledging income. So all of this is to say, for the last 2 years, we've put together a budget that is entirely paid for by money that is coming in from you as church members. And last year we hit 500,000. The most this church has ever hit is 550,000 in terms of pledges. And we are doing that entirely paid for by your pledges, with that other $100,000, $100,000 to $200,000 that comes in, mostly through fundraising, through rentals, people who are friends of the church who are not necessarily members who give money, things like that. So we have, and to balance the budget, we've had to cut programming and building maintenance funds, so we've had to do that. So I've told people we're in great shape and we're in trouble at the same time. And those are both true. And here's why both of those being true doesn't make sense, and it's fine. Coming back from COVID, churches were hit incredibly hard, not just in membership, but financially. I mean, like, lose your staff, lose your minister kind of financial hits. We did not get hit that hard, but we did get hit because we had a lack of growth. So as a member, when a new member joins, they'll pledge like $500 a year, $1,000 a year, because they're nervous. And not everyone, and I'm talking sort of the average of all of the members. Some can only give $100 a year. Some can give $30,000, $50,000 a year. But for the average member, they only give a small amount because they're nervous about it, because they don't know that they trust the church yet. They don't know what the experience of giving is like. $500 a year, $1,000 a year, that's like $100 a month almost. 50 to 100. That's a lot of money to give without really understanding what you're giving to. And what happens is, over the first 3 to 5 years of membership in a church, those members, they give and they go, that wasn't too bad. I feel good when I give to this church. I would like to give more. And so the sort of average pledge is about $1,200 to $1,600, because $1,200, there's a lot of people who give $100 a month. That's an easy math. $1,200 a year. And then usually we sort of plateau at the 1600 because I told you this is a lot of numbers, because those are people who've kind of gone over the 100 a month threshold. And usually what happens is over the years they go, I could do 3,000 a year, I could do 5,000, which to me as a Louisianian who always felt like you had to hold on to your money, that's a lot of money. I'm not comfortable giving that. But over time, veteran members will give $3,000 to $5,000 to $8,000 in a year. And so when a veteran member moves away or dies, there's a $6,000 gap, and it's going to take like 7 or 8 new members to fill in that veteran member's pledge. So what happened is when we had that gap from 19 when Steve retired until basically Reverend Chris got here. So let's just say January of 23. Once he was settled and we started growing in, we had a gap where we did not have as many new members as this church normally has, and we did not have enough new members to supplement the members we lost. So combining the tiered down stair steps of the Capital Drive money with us not growing at the rate the former Capital Drive thought we would, it is going to take some time before we can rebuild those newer pledges into veteran pledges. Which is to say, the church is fine. If we get what we got last year, we're going to be okay. We're going to have to still do weird kind of, we're selling chairs to raise chairs, fundraisers. We're not going to be able to have the same programming that we would like. So Kathy's had to make do, for example, in family ministry with real limited resources in ways that she used to be able to just do a lot with. We have plans for really exciting music that we want to do in worship, but we've had to trim that budget, so we have less the special. All music is special, but bringing in guest musicians, things like that. And we're okay. I hope this makes sense to you. So those who have pledged early, those who have already turned in their pledges, a lot of them have increased substantially because they are worried about the state of the church. And if we stop the pledge drive now, we are in trouble. And we're going to stop it like publicly on Saturday, but we are going to try and get those other 100 families to pledge. If you're one of those 100 families, like I am, turn in your pledge this week, like I'm going to, so that we can finish the drive and we can kind of build the budget and go forward. Because we know we need to do a lot of deferred maintenance on the building, because we know we haven't done a Capital Drive in a while, we're in the early germination, seed planting stages of doing a Capital Drive for the 75th anniversary of the church in 26. We're not there yet. We need to first have groups together who are doing discernment, and then in 25, we're going to go through a whole strategic planning process. You stuck around 13 minutes, so you're hearing about this now. This happened. We're going to talk about it a lot next year. Right now, the groups who are conceptualizing the strategic plan and the Capital Drive, they're in the early stages of their discernment. But all of this is to say, we know there needs to be a long-term viability plan for the building and its upkeep, and we have a plan for that. For now, for now, our goal is to get to $600,000 in pledges, which means if you have not turned in your pledge, please do so. If you have it all within the capability to increase your pledge, please consider doing that. We need, for the 100 left to pledge about $225, $230 a month for us to meet the dream budget, the goal of everything that we had hoped for. That is not to say if you're someone who can afford $7,000 or $8,000 a year, we need you to give $2,300. Please give that higher amount that you can. And it is not to say if you're someone who cannot ever dream of hitting $2,300 or the $2,500, like the $230 a month, which we have a lot of members of this church. I hope for you that you are able to give the amount that is comfortable for you. So we have some people who earn in the tens or $20,000 a year. I don't want them giving 2,300. I don't want you giving 2,300. Like, I mean, I want you giving the amount that is sustainable for you. What's beautiful about this church is if everyone gives the amount that is sustainable for them, we would have $1.5 million in our budget in pledges. Like, and that's based on research we've done. So we have more than enough people in this church who, if everyone gave what they were able to give within their means, we would have so much money we wouldn't know what to do with. So that is how I've been telling you everything is okay and we need a lot more work on this budget. I hope that makes sense. Please email or call me if you'd like to know more. Whew, that was a lot. 15 minutes in, good on you. Starting next week, we're going to talk about a lot of other stuff. There's an election coming up. We need you to fill out postcards for that. But for now, this is our last sort of end of the stewardship drive. Please, if you see Janet Mulder or Vic Cross or any of the stewardship people, please thank them. Please come out this Saturday. It's going to be a blast. We'll see you on Saturday. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye, y'all.